When the phone rang, the gray-haired man asked the girl with quite some little deference if she would rather for any reason he didn't answer it. The girl heard him as if from a distance and turned her face toward him, one eye on the side of the light closed tight, her open eye very, however disingenuously, large and so blue as to appear almost violet. The gray-haired man asked her to hurry up, and she raised up on her right forearm, just quickly enough so that the movement didn't quite look perfunctory. She cleared her hair back from her forehead with her left hand and said, "God, I don't know. I mean, what do you think?" The gray-haired man said he didn't see that it made a hell of a lot of a difference one way or the other, and slipped his left hand under the girl's supporting arm above the elbow, working his fingers up, making room for them between the warm surfaces of her upper arm and chest wall. He reached for the phone with his right hand. To reach it without groping, he had to raise himself somewhat higher, which caused the back of his head to graze a corner of the lampshade. In that instant, the light was particularly, if rather vividly, flattering to his gray, mostly white hair. Though in disarrangement at that moment, it had obviously been freshly cut, or rather, freshly maintained. The neckline and temples had been trimmed conventionally close, but the sides and top had been left rather more than just longish, and were, in fact, a trifle, quote, distinguished looking, end of quote. "Hello," he said resonantly into the phone. The girl stayed propped up on her forearm and watched him. Her eyes, more just open than alert or speculative, reflected chiefly their own size and color. A man's voice, stone dead, yet somehow rudely, almost obscenely quickened for the occasion, came through at the other end. "Lee? I wake you?" The gray-haired man glanced briefly left at the girl. "Who's that?" he asked. "Arthur? Yeah, I wake you?" No, I'm in bed. Reading. Anything wrong?" "You sure I didn't wake you, honest to God?" No, absolutely," the gray-haired man said. "As a matter of fact, I've been averaging about 4 lousy hours. The reason I called, Lee, did you happen to notice when Joni was leaving? Did you happen to notice if she left with the Ellenbogans by any chance?" The gray-haired man looked left again, but high this time, away from the girl, who was now watching him rather like a young, blue-eyed Irish policeman. "No, I didn't, Arthur," he said, his eyes on the far, dim end of the room, where the wall met the ceiling. "Didn't she leave with you?" "No, Christ, no." "You didn't see her leave at all, then?" "Well, no, as a matter of fact, I didn't, Arthur," the gray-haired man said. "Actually, as a matter of fact, I didn't see a bloody thing all evening. The minute I got in the door, I got myself involved in one long Jesus of a session with that French poop. Viennese poop. Whatever the hell he was. Every bloody one of these foreign guys keep an eye open for a little free legal advice. Why? What's up? Joni lost? Oh, Christ, who knows? I don't know. You know her when she gets all tanked up and raring to go. I don't know. She may have just... You call the Ellenbogans? The gray-haired man asked. Yeah. They're not home yet. I don't know. Christ, I'm not even sure she left with them. I know one thing. I know one goddamn thing. I'm through beating my brains out. I mean it. I really mean it this time. I'm through. 5 years. Christ. All right, try to take it a little easy now, Arthur, the gray-haired man said. In the first place, if I know the Ellenbogans, they probably all hopped in a cab and went down to the village for a couple of hours. All 3 of them will probably barge. I have a feeling she went to work on some bastard in the kitchen. I just have a feeling. She always starts necking some bastard in the kitchen when she gets tanked up. I'm through. I swear to God. I mean it this time. 5 goddamn... Where are you now, Arthur? The gray-haired man asked. Home? Yeah, home. Home sweet home. Christ. Well, just try to take it a little... What are you? Drunk or what? I don't know. How the hell do I know? All right, now, listen. Relax. Just relax, the gray-haired man said. You know the Ellenbogans, for Christ's sake. What probably happened, they probably missed their last train. All three of them will probably barge in on you at any minute, full of witty, nightclub. They drove in. How do you know? Their babysitter. We've had some scintillating goddamn conversations. We're close as hell. We're like two goddamn peas in a pod. All right, so what? Will you sit tight and relax now? Said the gray-haired man. All three of them will probably waltz in on you any minute. Take my word. You know Leona. I don't know what the hell it is. They all get this god-awful Connecticut gaiety when they get into New York. You know that. Yeah, I know. I don't know, though. Certainly you do. Use your imagination. The two of them probably drag Joni bodily. Listen, nobody ever has to drag Joni anywhere. Don't give me any of that dragging stuff. Nobody's giving you any dragging stuff, Arthur, the gray-haired man said quietly. I know. Excuse me. Christ, I'm losing my mind. Honest to God, you sure I didn't wake you? I'd tell you if you had, Arthur, the gray-haired man said. Absently, he took his left hand out from between the girl's upper arm and chest wall. Look, Arthur. You want my advice? He said. He took the telephone cord between his fingers, just under the transmitter. I mean this now. You want some advice? Yeah. I don't know. Christ, I'm keeping you up. Why don't I just go cut my... Listen to me a minute, the gray-haired man said. First, I mean this now. Get in bed and relax. Make yourself a nice, big nightcap and get under the... Nightcap? Are you kidding? Christ, I've killed about a quart in the last 2 goddamn hours. Nightcap? I'm so plastered now I can hardly... All right. Get in bed then, the gray-haired man said, and relax. You hear me? Tell the truth. Is it going to do any good to sit around and stew? Yeah, I know. I wouldn't even worry, for Christ's sake, but you can't trust her. I swear to God, you can't. You can trust her about as far as you can throw it. I don't know what. What's the use? I'm losing my goddamn mind. All right, forget it. Now, forget it. Now, will you do me a favor and try to put the whole thing out of your mind? The gray-haired man said. For all you know, I honestly think you're making a mountain. You know what I do? You know what I do. I'm ashamed to tell you. But you know what I very nearly goddamn do every night? When I get home. You want to know? Arthur, listen. This isn't... Wait a second, I'll tell you. God damn it. I practically have to keep myself from opening every goddamn closet door in the apartment. I swear to God. Every night I come home, I half expect to find a bunch of bastards hiding all over the place. Elevator boys, delivery boys, cops. All right. Let's try to take it a little easy. Arthur, the gray-haired man said. He glanced abruptly to his right, where a cigarette, lighted sometime earlier in the evening, was balanced on an ashtray. It obviously had gone out, though, and he didn't pick it up. In the first place, he said into the phone, I've told you many, many times, Arthur, that's exactly where you make your biggest mistake. You know what you do? Would you like me to tell you what you do? You go out of your way, I mean this now, you actually go out of your way to torture yourself. As a matter of fact, you actually inspire Joni. He broke off. You're bloody lucky she's a wonderful kid. I mean it. You give that kid absolutely no credit for having any good taste. Or brains, for Christ's sake, for that matter. Brains? Are you kidding? She hasn't got any goddamn brains. She's an animal. The gray-haired man, his nostrils dilating, appeared to take a fairly deep breath. We're all animals, he said. Basically, we're all animals. Like hell we are. I'm no goddamn animal. I may be a stupid, fouled-up 20th century son of a bitch, but I'm no animal. Don't give me that. I'm no animal. Look, Arthur, this isn't getting us brains. Jesus, if you knew how funny that was. She thinks she's a goddamn intellectual. That's the funny part. That's the hilarious part. She reads the theatrical page. And she watches television till she's practically blind. So she's an intellectual. You know who I'm married to? You want to know who I'm married to? I'm married to the greatest living, undeveloped, undiscovered actress, novelist, psychoanalyst, and all-around goddamn unappreciated celebrity genius in New York. You didn't know that, did you? Christ. So funny I could cut my throat. Madame Bovary at Columbia Extension School. Madame who? Asked the gray-haired man, sounding annoyed. Madame Bovary takes a course in television appreciation. God, if you knew how. All right. You realize this isn't getting us any place, the gray-haired man said. He turned and gave the girl a sign with 2 fingers near his mouth that he wanted a cigarette. In the first place, he said into the phone. For a hell of an intelligent guy, you're about as tactless as it's humanly possible to be. He straightened his back so that the girl could reach behind him for the cigarettes. I mean that. It shows up in your private life. It shows up in your brains. Oh, God, that kills me. Christ almighty, did you ever hear her describe anybody? Some man, I mean. Sometime when you haven't anything to do me a favor and get her to describe some man for you. She describes every man she sees as terribly attractive. It can be the oldest, crummiest, greasiest. All right, Arthur, the gray-haired man said sharply. This is getting us nowhere, but nowhere. He took a lighted cigarette from the girl. She had lit too. Just incidentally, he said, exhaling smoke through his nostrils. How'd you make out today?